Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Europa Universalis 4, and this is the second attempt at first come first serve achievement run in the new DLC called Right of Man with the new pressure patch, as you can see, with the great powers mechanics. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to talk about basically, at first I'm going to talk about the basic stuff. I'm basically trying to colonize the coast so I can avoid European powers from colonizing the interior of North America. As you can see, I've succeeded at cutting off the eastern seaboard. Now I just have to colonize the western seaboard, and then I could colonize the interior, and then I'll just conquer all the land that's left over. So basically, in South America and so on. I meant to record this episode 30 years ago, but I kind of were just sitting down and playing, getting used to the mechanics, and I was just so involved with it. So it was awesome. So let's talk about the first thing, one of the major changes, this institution system. So basically the first three institutions, all of these institutions seem like, okay, the first three I know for a fact because I've played, spawn in Europe. They're not gonna spawn in China, in Africa, or in Asia, in the Middle East. No, they spawn in Europe because they are Eurocentric events. As you can see, this one spawns in the, let me actually go to the map mode. I guess I can't see the map mode. This one spawns in Italy. Colonialism spawned in Castile. Basically, colonialism spawns in a country that has, I think, exploration ideas, or basically has a colonial nation, so it spawns it in one of their port provinces, I think. Don't hold me to that. This is my first campaign in the new DLC. And the printing press spawns in a Protestant nation somewhere in the center of Europe. So for me to get all of these institutions over to the new world, what I had to do was basically improve development. And every time you improve development, it gives you some percent for that institution, which I think that's a very good idea, because before I didn't used to use development, but now I've developed 3 provinces above 30. Like, if you look at the development map mode, I have 3 provinces that are green in my country. That's kind of crazy. I usually never develop my provinces this much, but yes. I think it was a good idea, because I think it's a good idea that there's a way to get the to get some sort of percentage of the institution of your provinces without having to be in Europe. But it also sucks for your administrative points, because or your monarch points, because it costs a lot to develop provinces. Like, look, to get to 35 development, it now costs 119 administrative points, so it costs a lot to develop provinces as you get higher and higher up, of course. And that means it gets harder and harder to get the institution, or more expensive to get the institution in your province, which I think is a fair trade-off. Like, you can't just easily get the institution, then the entire spread, like the entire system of it spreading means nothing if I can just develop it once. But still, it's very expensive to be able to get the institution present in your country. But I think it was balanced well, and I like the system. So I am on the printing press institution. I'm waiting for it to, I developed it in Doge. This is the province I chose to develop to get the institution here, and now I'm just waiting for it to spread throughout my nation so that I can finally embrace it, because it's 1,300 ducats and I don't want to spend that much. But yeah, so I'm not gonna get any tech anytime soon. I'm gonna hold off on getting tech and wait for that penalty to go away before I get the tech. Which I also noticed, they increased the cap for Western countries to Unless that scales with the penalty. That probably scales with the penalty, would be my assumption, your cap. Because I know for a fact that Western countries' penalty or Western countries' amount of points cap used to be 999. So this probably scales with your tech penalty now. So that's interesting. Also, great power system is interesting. So to become a great power, you must be in the top 8 rankings. To get in the top 8, it's basically your, let me see, it is your development divided by your tech cost. So I have 730 development, you divide that by my tech cost, and that is my score. I haven't really used any of the actions because, like, for the most part, I don't have to worry about going to war with European countries just yet, so I haven't had the opportunity to really use any of these. Like, I don't really need to take on anyone's debt. Like, there's no one in the new world that I want to like be, I don't know. Like, haven't need to use any of these break-in alliances. I haven't need to do any of these. I feel like if you're in Europe, this would be much more useful, like intervening in wars and that sort of thing. But for now, I haven't really used these, but I can see how these could be very beneficial and how it could be very interesting, especially the intervene in war. Like, let's say if there's 2 great powers against 1 great power, I could intervene and be on and equal the playing field out, which I think that's very interesting. It's a very good mechanic. But I will have to see that in my next campaign, or the next campaign that I do after this one. Is there anyone else? Oh, let me walk through the tabs. So as you can see, they changed the court system. I really haven't had to deal with the Queen Regency or any of that because I am a republic. So I've just been electing new people. I've seen a lot of the good traits, a lot of the horrible traits, because I get to elect people every 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, and so on. So that is that's cool that even these leaders have traits, even though it's kind of, you're never gonna see the 25-year trait unless you just never elect someone and you go to 0 Republican tradition and you lose your republic. But yes. As for government, I have added 1 culture, which was Pawnee, and the only reason I added Pawnee is because, let's see, the provinces I was developing to get the institutions, the culture happened to be Pawnee because these were the provinces, the only provinces I had that were grasslands, so I just developed here. So I chose to accept them, and that gave me a bit of a boost in my taxation. As for diplomacy, really nothing here. I just have a bunch of casus belli. I don't even have rivals or any relationships. I am a Grand Republic. Kingdom, religion's Catholic, so that's a thing. As for economy, we make 2 ducats from gold. Let me show you the gold provinces. I haven't really taken over the rest of Mexico yet. I've just been holding off. I've been focusing on colonizing, having enough money for colonizing, trying to get into South America and that sort of dealio. But yeah, there's only 2 more gold provinces in Mexico that I have to get, and I'll have all the gold provinces there, and then I have to go south and get all the gold provinces in South America. As for trade, we make 8 ducats from trade. I haven't really been starting to pay attention to trade yet, but our main node is the Chesapeake Bay, and as you can see, trade is being pushed from Ohio and the Caribbean. I think the Ohio and the Caribbean was the default ones they gave me, and I got an extra merchant, so I just put it in the Chesapeake to collect trade. As for technologies, we are very far behind in technologies because, like I said, it costs a lot of points to develop provinces to get the institution over, so it kind of slows you down in terms of technology, so you fall behind. Like, I'm supposed to be at 14, 13, 14. Even Castile is kind of behind, which is crazy. They probably haven't embraced all the institutions. Well, not the printing press yet, but yes, they are behind. They're at 10, 11, 12, but I should be at 14 basically for each tech. Yes. As for ideas, I went for exploration, of course, to colonize, and I went for expansion so I could get an extra colonist and increase the global cellular chance, and I've gone for offensive so I can basically have better generals, better troops, and an increased land force limit. Yes, and some discipline, which is nice. I instituted one policy, which is colonial expansion, which gives me plus 20 to global cellular chance. Basically, I can colonize much quicker, which is nice. As for stability, I have a bunch of countries here that want to rebel. But that's really because I really have to start converting the religion over to Catholicism, and start to get unrest under control. Like, the intolerance doesn't help, and also in some provinces, like over here, there is that separatism, which is going to take a while to go away. Let's see, I have 20 states. Let's go to that map mode. I have 20 states. I really should colonize this stuff so I can finish the states that I have as states off, but I think it's more important that I guarantee that only I will be colonizing in North America, and after that I will focus on getting the stuff that I need to finish my states off, or states to I'll focus on colonizing the things to finish the states off. Also have 18 territories. Religion, as you can see, we're at 87% unity. We got a few more stuff to convert. As for army size, we have a force limit of 57 with 35 regiments. We also have a force limit of 76 for Navy with 24 boats. And we have 5 forts, which I didn't build any of these. These are all forts that I got from the countries that were here. And as for estates, we have the burghers, the clergy, and the nobility. The burghers have 21% control, clergy 15, and nobility 16. Even though they only need 10, why do they have 16%? That's probably because of me developing this province. If we look at the leisure and we look at income, the Ottomans have the highest income and have the 5th highest income. As for treasury, Jesus Christ, I have nowhere near that amount of money. Development, I am the 3rd most, not developed. I have the 3rd most development. I feel like if you would use the word the most developed nation, you would probably take the development and divide it by the number of provinces they have, and that ratio would be how developed they are. Because just because I have more development doesn't mean I am more developed than a country that's smaller than me. Anyway, that's not important. That's just me pondering something. Max manpower, I have shit manpower. I have a very low manpower cap. I have 34,000 max manpower. That is not good. As for technologies, I'm just horribly behind. Not even gonna bother looking there. Oops, I don't think there's anything else here on this page. Let's go to military. Let's look at our armies. Look at the total. The Ottomans have the largest army, and we are like what, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We are 7th in military, but if we look at force limit, I can have the 5th largest army, which is nice, but that would require me to have some sort of money, and I only make $4 a month, so that is not happening. As for navies, I haven't really been paying attention to navy. We're really far down the list. But as for force limit, we are 2nd. So if I really wanted to have a large navy, I could what's the word? Invest in a navy. But I think that is it. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else in this ledger that I should look at, but I don't think so. No, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna do another update video on 1650, most likely. Hopefully, I've finished colonized the west coast of North America, and I've finished taking over Mexico, and I've expanded somewhat into South America. And yeah, basically that will be my objective for before I reach the date 1650. And hopefully I've colonized some of the interior of the United States, or not the United States, North America. I think I should be able. I mean, like, I almost did the achievement last time. I only missed one province, and that was because I did not know that province was needed for the achievement. So I'm pretty sure I could get the achievement this time around. And I think this is good that I'm trying this achievement over, because it gives me some experience in the new expansion, which I think is very good. I would really recommend getting it. I've enjoyed it so far. The changes they have made, I think, are very nice. They have actually made using the development system even more. I can't speak English. I didn't use it as much before, but now there's kind of like, here's even more of a reason to use development. Like, let's say you're not anywhere near Europe, and like, let's go back to the institutions. The first 3 are like Eurocentric, and they allow you to use development to get these institutions present in a province of yours, and be able to spread it throughout your province. So there's a reason to develop your provinces, or there's even more of a reason to develop your provinces, so you can stay caught up in tech and not have this disgusting tech penalty. So I think how they implemented the institution systems, this new great power mechanic, I think it's been overall very good, and I really recommend it. But with that, that's going to be it for this episode of Europa Universalis 4. First come, first serve, second attempt achievement run. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next episode.